Good morning and welcome to this hybrid meeting of Licensing and Gambling Act Subcommittee on Monday the 12th of February 2024. I'm Councillor Anthony John Richards and I will be chairing today's meeting. Just to make you aware, today's meeting will be recorded, and can you please ensure that your phones are switched to silent for the duration of the meeting. Would members, officers and attendees who are present in the chamber today please use their microphones when speaking, and when not speaking, can I ask that you ensure your microphone is switched to mute? And if you have any questions, please raise your hand or your electronic hand if attending virtually. Just to make the committee and attendees aware, we have a report in front of us today which is in the public domain and available to all. Officers will then play 3 separate recordings which are to be viewed in a private session. Agenda item 2 are declarations of interest. Are there any declarations of interest? I can't see any. And then agenda item 3 is on pages 5 to 72 of the circulated report pack and is here for decision. So, Mr. Chappell, would you please introduce the report? Diolch yn fawr.
Yep, thank you, Chair, and good morning, everyone. This is an application under the Licensing Act 2003 for the review of a premises licence for Neath Town Football Club. The application for review has been submitted by South Wales Police and is in respect of the licensing objectives of crime and disorder, public safety and the protection of children from harm. The licence holder is Neath Football Town Limited, and the designated premises supervisor is Mr. Christopher Foote. The existing hours of operation of the premises, along with the current conditions attached to the licence, are shown on pages 23 to 26 of the report. The detail of the grounds of review is outlined in the report. That is on pages 7 to 23. Members will also note additional evidence supplied by the police attached at appendices 1 to 8, including body-worn video footage, which will be viewed during the police submissions. Members will be aware that when an application for review is submitted, all the responsible authorities, as well as other persons, are able to submit representations of their own. In this particular instance, additional representations have been received from the legal regulatory officer, that is being the licensing officer, the environmental health officer, and 1 representation from another person who lives in the vicinity of the premises. Members will note that the name and address of the other person have been redacted from the report. Members will have read the submissions from that individual, and the individual has expressed concerns about reprisals should the details be disclosed. The full details of the additional representations are attached to the report at appendices 9 through 15. Members will note that the Environmental Health Officer has made representations on the grounds of the prevention of public nuisance, and also requests that a number of conditions are attached to the licence. There are various options available today. Members will need to come to a determination after hearing all the submissions and having regard to the application. The options available are to take no action, to modify the conditions of the licence, to exclude a licensable activity from the scope of the licence, to remove the designated premises supervisor, to suspend the licence for a period not exceeding 3 months, or ultimately to revoke the licence. Thank you, Chair.
Diolch yn fawr. Thank you very much, Mr. Chappell. Do we have any questions for Mr. Chappell in relation to the report only?
I don't see any, Chair.
No. Okay, so what we'll do now then, we will now go to the applicant, which is the police, to introduce your application, please. Now, as part of the police's introduction, we will be reviewing video footage, which are to be considered in a private session. So I politely ask you to let us know when you wish to start the viewings. Diolch yn fawr.
Thank you, Chair. I'm Sergeant Chris Dix and I manage the licensing team for Swansea, Neath and Talbot. I'm joined by my colleague Nicola Evans, and together we'd be presenting the reps made by our colleague Nick Bailey, who for personal reasons is unable to be here today. You've all had an opportunity to read the very detailed reps submitted by Nick, so I don't propose to repeat those verbatim. Instead, I'll summarise, concentrating on the pertinent points. We will be referring to body-worn video footage from attending officers at some of the incidents. And following this, PC Evans will go through the proposed conditions we feel are necessary to avoid a repeat of the events that we shall be describing. The grounds to review are as follows. It is the belief of the police that there has been a significant and prolonged failure of the management of the premises to promote the licensing objectives, and that the current designated premises supervisor has failed to take the necessary steps to address the many issues that have been highlighted to him during numerous engagements with responsible authorities and which should have been obvious to him. We believe the examples I'm about to highlight demonstrate that the current licence conditions are not fit for purpose and substantial changes are required. In addition, we believe that the current DPS is not capable of running the premises responsibly and should be removed. The licence for the premises was transferred in 2021 during the time of the COVID restrictions, and since Mr. Foote became DPS, there have been 31 incidents reported relating to the premises, including 6 COVID breaches, 8 involving alcohol-related violence, and 10 reports of underage drinking, sales, or events at the premises. And we're now going to look at some of these incidents. 8 days after Neath Town Football Club Limited took over the licence and the running of the premises, the first of a number of COVID breach incidents were reported on the 10th and 13th of February, and again on the 1st of May. On the 5th of May, Nick Bailey wrote to the premises following a visit and provided advice on the steps required to rectify issues, and there's a copy of that letter in Appendix 1. Further COVID breach incidents were reported on the 8th and the 15th of May. Nick Bailey again visited the premises on the 25th of May, where a COVID improvement notice was issued by Neath Talbot Council staff. Further COVID breaches were reported on the 30th of May, there was 2 reports in one day, and the 20th of June. So basically, we've got a situation where the premises was visited twice within 3 weeks, and further breaches were reported after each visit. On the 1st of August 22, staff at the premises reported finding a knife described as having a 6 to 8 inch blade concealed under a sink in one of the toilets. And while we accept that staff have acted correctly in reporting this, the question must be asked how it got into the premises and the possible consequences had it not been discovered. On the 16th of November 22, a report was received of an event at the premises where there were many young underage people in attendance. Nick Bailey spoke to Mr. Harris and warned him about the consequences of holding such events. On the 29th of January 23, an assault was reported at the premises requiring the 17-year-old victim to receive hospital treatment. He'd been standing at the bar waiting to be served when he was attacked by several males. Nick Bailey requested CCTV footage from Mr. Harris to assist the investigation. However, it was not provided. You will note there is no CCTV condition on the current licence. On the 16th of February 23, Nick Bailey became aware of reports that 2 17th birthday parties were due to take place at the venue on the 17th and 18th of February. Nick contacted Mr. Harris by phone, advised against this, and was told that the only booking was the 50th birthday party. Despite this assurance, police responded to a call of a collapsed female in cardiac arrest on the 17th of February. On arrival, it was discovered that there was a large youth event at the premises. It transpired that a young female had been carried out to the premises very intoxicated. Officers established that the female and her friends were 15 to 16 years of age. They indicated to attending officers they had been drinking at the premises. And we believe we got some body-worn footage and stills of that. So I'll hand over to my colleague.
You'll see 3 incidents once the body-worn footage is played. The first being the 16th of the 6th, 2023. This will show details of underage drinking at the event and staff being unhelpful to officers. The second body-worn footage that will be seen is on the 17th of the 2nd, 2023. This shows that PCSOs have attended along with officers. They've identified under 18s at the premises. They have spoken to a known 16-year-old who was very intoxicated and became aggressive. They've also spoken to 15-year-old and admits that her and her friends had been drinking in the venue. It shows how the event was advertised as a 17+ event that wasn't starting until 10:30 in the night. And it also will show officers have spoken to them. The doors were locked at the venue, so young persons were locked inside and officers couldn't gain entry initially. Then the last piece of footage you'll see is the 27th of October 2023, and it will show a number of youths in the hundreds, in fact, on this particular footage, and they've come as far as Swansea, Ystrad, Cardiff, Bridgend. It also shows that officers have had a number of discussions whilst they arrived there, and it will also show numerous youths out in the street after the event, and we're talking 200, 300 possibly in the street at that point. It also drained resources due to the numbers and the fact that they needed to clear the premises due to it being unsafe. And it will also show a fire exit that was blocked and a member of staff admitting that they couldn't even get down the stairs. They've had to ask resources as far as Morriston Police Station, Neath Police Station, Talbot, Bridgend, and our tactical support team were also called in to assist. I don't know whether now would be a time to play the CCTV.
Okay, so yeah, thank you very much for that. In order for us to play those videos, I'm just so access to meetings, that Appendix 8 to this report only is exempt under paragraph 13, part 4 of Schedule A, of Schedule 12A, 100BA 2 and 7 of the Local Government Act 1972. So Sarah, could you please stop the recording?
Chair, I wonder if we could confirm with Mr Harris now that we are in private session and that